because the entire project inspiration is from His Holiness Gopala Krishna Maharaj. Is it okay if I speak in English? Or will you prefer Hindi? English is okay? Fine. They're all bright boys. You will understand. Also, I do this. Bhuya eva me swami. I'd like to know from you how the personality of Godhead, why His personal energies creates these phenomenal universes as they are which are inconceivable even to the great demigods. This is Maharaj Parikshit. He is speaking to Shukadeva Goswami. If you please, I beg to know from you how the personality of God by his personal energies creates these phenomenal universes as they are, which are inconceivable even to the great demigods. But in every inquisitive mind, the important question of creation of the phenomenal world arises. And therefore, for a personality like Maharaj Parikshit, who was to know all the activities of the Lord from his spiritual master, such an inquiry is not uncommon. For every unknown thing, we have to learn and inquire from a learned personality. It's very important. For everything, we have to approach a learned personality. The question of creation is also one of such inquiries to be made to the right person, the spiritual master. Therefore, must be one who is Sarvagya, as stated herein before, in connection with Shukadeva Goswami. Thus, all inquiries on God which are unknown to the disciple may be made from the qualified spiritual master. And here, the practical example is set by Maharaj Parikshit. It was, however, already known to Maharaj Parikshit that everything we see is born out of the energy of the Lord, as we have already learned in the very beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, Janmani Asya Devata. So, Maharaj Parikshit wanted to know the process of creation. The origin of creation was known to him, otherwise he would not have inquired how the personality of Godhead by his different energies creates the phenomenal world. The common man also knows that the creation is made by some creator and is not created automatically. We have no experience in the practical world that a thing is created automatically. Foolish people say that the creative energy is independent and acts automatically as electrical energy works. But the intelligent man knows that even the electrical energy is generated by an expert engineer in the localized powerhouse. And thus, the energy is distributed everywhere under the resident engineer's supervision. The Lord's supervision in connection with creation is mentioned even in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, verse number 10. And it is clearly said there that material energy is a manifestation of one of many such energies of the Lord. Parasya Shakti Videva Shulati. An inexperienced boy may be struck with wonder by seeing the impersonal actions of electronics or many other wonderful things conducted by electrical energy. But an experienced man knows that behind the action is a living man who creates such energy. Similarly, the so-called scholars and philosophers of the world may, by mental speculation, present so many utopian theories about the impersonal creation of the universe. But an intelligent devotee of the Lord, by studying the Bhagavad Gita, can know that behind the creation is the hand of the Supreme Lord. Just as in the generating electrical powerhouse, there is the resident engineer. The research scholar finds out the cause and the effect of everything. But research scholars as great as Brahma, Shiva, Indra, and many other demigods are sometimes bewildered by seeing the wonderful creative energy of the Lord. So what to speak of the tiny, mundane scholars dealing in petty things? As there are differences in the living conditions of different planets of the universe, and as one planet is superior to others, the brains of the living entities in their respective planets are also of different categorical values. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, one can compare the long duration of life of the inhabitants of Brahma's planet, which is inconceivable to the inhabitants of this planet, with the planet Earth, to the categorical value of the plane of Brahmaji, also inconceivable to any great scientist of this planet. And with such high brain power, even Brahmaji has described in his great Samhita, Brahma Samhita, as follows: Ishwar Parama Krishna There are many personalities possessing the qualities of Mahaman, but Krishna is the supreme because none can excel him. He is the supreme person, and this body is eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. He is the primeval Lord Govinda and the cause of all causes. Brahmaji admits Lord Krishna to be the supreme cause of all causes. But persons with tiny brains within this petty planet Earth think of the Lord as one of them. Thus, when the Lord says in the Bhagavad Gita that He, Lord Krishna, is all in all, the speculative philosophers and the mundane regulars derive Him, and the Lord regretfully says, Jananti Mamuda The fools deride me when I descend in the human form. They do not know my transcendental nature and my supreme dominion over all that be. Brahma and Shiva, and what to speak of other demigods are bhutas or powerful created demigods who manage universal affairs, much like ministers appointed by a king. The ministers may be Ishwaras or controllers, but the Supreme Lord is Maheshwara or the creator of the controllers. Persons with a poor fund of knowledge do not know this, and therefore they have the audacity to deride him, because he comes before us by his causeless mercy occasionally as a human being. The Lord is not like a human being. He is Satchidananda Vigraha, or the absolute personality of Godhead. And there is no difference between his body and his soul. He is both the power and the powerful. Maharaj Parikshit did not ask the spiritual master Shukadeva Goswami to narrate Lord Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan. He wanted to hear first about the creation of the Lord. Shukadeva Goswami did not say that the king should hear about the direct transcendental pastimes of the Lord. The time was very short, and naturally Shukadeva Goswami would have gone directly to the temple to make a shortcut of the whole thing, as generally done by the professional reciters. But neither the king nor the great speaker of Srimad Bhagavatam jumped up like the organizers of Bhagavatam. Both of them proceeded systematically, so that both future readers and hearers might take lessons from the example of the procedure of reciting Srimad Bhagavatam. Those who are under the control of the external energy of the Lord, or in other words, those who are in the material world, must first of all know how the external energy of the Lord is working under the direction of the Supreme Personality of God. And afterwards, one may try to enter into the activities of the internal energy. The mundaners are mostly worshippers of Durga Devi, the external energy of Krishna, but they do not know that Durga is the shadow energy of the Lord. What is the person Brahma Samhita says the shadow energy? Srishti Siddhi Manani Vibharti Durga Ichchanu Rupamaphi Yasya Cheshtate Sa Govindamani Durga. Behind her, that means behind Durga, the strongest display of material working is the direction of the Lord, as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, verse number 10. Maya, Yakshena. The Brahma Samhita affirms that Durga Devi is working by the direction of Govinda, and without his sanction, the power of Durga cannot move even a blade of grass. Therefore, the neophyte devotee, instead of jumping at once to the platform of transcendental pastimes presented by the external energy of the Lord, may know how the Supreme Lord is, how great the Supreme Lord is, by inquiring about the process of his creative energy. So, purport is quite long. We'll stop here in the purport. I'd like to summarize the essence of this. Vakam karoti vajnam vanhulanagayate This shloka is being spoken by Parikshit Maharaj. He is inquiring from his spiritual master, Shukdev Maharaj, about how this creation took place. Brahma is the secondary creator. The original creator, as we just said, Ishvara Parama Krishna, Sachidananda the original creator, the creator even of Brahma is Krishna. He is the creator of everything and the cause of all causes. In this purport, Srila Prabhupada mentions several important points. We understand the Lord in gradual steps by understanding His creation and then progress finally to His transcendental pastimes. Not that we jump onto the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the many of the Bhagavad Kathakas. They just focus on the 10th canto. But the process is just like when you are seeing the deities, taking darshan of the deities, because each canto of the Bhagavatam corresponds to the names of the deities. So when we are taking darshan of the Lord, we begin from His lotus feet, then we go on to His ankles, then we go on to His knees, then we go to His waist, then His chest, neck, and then His lotus face, and then head, forehead, and then finally the top of His head. So this is the sequence in which we take the darshan of the Lord. So similarly, the Srimad Bhagavatam, the 10th canto, is the lotus face of the Lord. So we have to do it in progression. Earlier chapters describe how the creation took place, how many mandaras, many different incarnations, and up to the 10th canto then describes the transcendental pastimes of the Lord in Vrindavan as well as Varkana. So this is the process we have to understand like that. And mentions here that even great scientists, they cannot understand that behind this creation, behind this external energy, there is God, is a person God. So mostly the scientists, they even maybe really very educated, but they cannot understand because these affairs are achievable. They are achievable, inconceivable. Even great demigods like Lord Brahma, Shiva, and Indra cannot fully understand the glories of the Lord. And what to speak of these tiny scientists who may postulate so many theories about how life came about. One of the theories is the Big Bang theory. Many of you have heard of this. Charles Darwin and some of the other scientists. In the beginning, there was some big bang, and then so many thunders came, the rainfalls came, and then some cells were generated, and so millions of years ago, life came about. So actually, there is a flaw in the basic concept, theory itself. Who was behind? What is is the energy behind that initial Big Bang? That question they cannot answer. And actually, when there is Big Bang or any bang, explosions for instance, what happens after? Total disorder, everything becomes chaos. But here in this creation, we are seeing it's perfectly well arranged. All the planets are moving in their orbits perfectly. A little movement this or that way by the sun will create havoc in the whole universe. The universe will be finished, but everything is done. And how is that going on? It's going on by the direction of the Lord. Raja samasta suramurti prachecha teja yasya brahmati samana chakro govindamani dosha. Everything to the split second is working under this direction. Little movement out of its orbit of the sun will be total destruction of this universe. Yet the scientists, they cannot understand this. They are saying that life is coming from chemicals. One of our devotees, senior members, now is not with us. God had his holiness, but this Vrindaranyam Maharaj was challenging these scientists very boldly. These scientists are saying life is coming from chemicals. So, Bhakti Maharaj and many others have also challenged this theory of so-called scientists, that if life is actually coming from chemicals, then if we give you all these chemicals worth maybe a few rupees, it's not a astronomical cost, it's a very small cost. Bhakti Maharaj, he actually challenged one professor. One professor was saying, we know now that life is coming from chemicals. So Bhakti Maharaj challenged him. Okay, professor, if I give you all these chemicals, then can you create some life for even oneself? Anything, can you? Please do that. Then the answer was, we will do in the future. We cannot do at the moment, but we will do in the future. Prabhupada refers to this as postage. If you are intelligent, if someone is giving you money, he may say, take $1 million check, I will write you check $1 million. Sorry sir, give 1,000 rupees, but we need cash. An intelligent man will say, okay, like that. We should not have faith in this. They have not been able to do, and they will not be able to do, because the source of all life is Krishna and his spiritual. So, this is like, Prabhupada was very fond of giving this example. Many other devotees and others, philosophers have also given this example of the frog in the valley. A frog was there in the valley, and his friend came one day and he told his, my dear frog friend, I have just come from the Pacific Ocean. You can't believe how big that is. Just very big. So this Luke, who was in the land, the frog, कितना बड़ा होगा? How big it is? दो बड़ा होगा, maybe two. नहीं, बहुत बड़ा है, too big. 10 times? नहीं, बहुत बड़ा, 100 times? नहीं, ऐसा is breathing the frog and breathing is burst and that. So scientists should pay attention to scriptures like Bhagavad. They can understand what is actually truth. Newton, you must have heard of Newton. How many of you heard of Newton? Very good. I said Newton very famous because he gives science of physics. He is attributed to having been a scientist of physics research, and he is the one who first this law of gravity. When an apple is falling, he observed the apple is falling down. So he was thinking, why is it falling down? Why the apple is going to be up? So he discovered the law of gravity. He was actually a very pious, very God-fearing man. So one of his friends was an atheist. So Newton always tried to preach to him. He would always say that, express his faith in God. But actually, whatever science is there has limitations. And behind all these miracles and the creation that we are seeing, there is a very powerful intelligence. But this atheist, he will not accept this. He will just keep on proposing his own theories and all that. So one day, for a few days, Isaac Newton, he made a model of this universe. So this model, it took a little time for it to make it, but it was a masterpiece of a model for that time. And it depicted all the various planets rotating in their different orbits around the sun. So when this model was ready, this friend of his, he came to visit Isaac Newton, and he asked Newton, wow, this is a very fabulous model, fantastic model. And, can you tell me who it is? And what was Newton's answer? No one has it. Anyways, so this fellow, no, Newton and Isaac, don't joke with me. Tell me who has made this model? Then Newton said, see, this model took a lot of intelligence. I worked so hard, used my own intelligence, plus hard diligence. This small model took so much effort, energy, intelligence. But when I tell you, in real life, how the planets are orbiting around the sun, how everything is in a split-second order, a little deviation and the whole thing will collapse. Just imagine how much intelligence that will be, how much that intelligence is required. So his atheist friend, he had to accept fame. But there is intelligence behind this. Another story, this Prabhuji Thakur was famous, one of his favorite stories, was that one great, so-called great, actually not so great, but proud, he was a proud scholar, and this after graduating, getting a PhD degree in whatever subject, he wanted to go to his village. He was going to cross the Ganga. So as he was going to cross the Ganga, he found one boatman and very proudly said in the boat, "मुझे पार लेके जाना है, गंगा जी के पार लेके जाना." And the boatman agreed, okay, I will do it. So the scholar, he was seeing in the sky, dark sky, rain-filled sky. It's called, I will tell you this now, what it is called. So he asked, this scholar asked the boatman, tell me, now Bala, ये बादल को क्या कहते हैं? साइंस में क्या नाम है इसका? वो बोला, sorry, I am humble devotee only. ये technical terms मुझे नहीं मालूम है. तुमको technical terms नहीं मालूम? So it is called. You don't even know that much. then your 25% life is wasted. कोई बात नहीं, 25% waste होगा, कोई बात नहीं, भगवान का नाम तो ले रहा हूँ. It is called cumulus nimbus. ये बादल का नाम क्या है? Cumulus nimbus. क्योंकि ये सब बात आने वाली है. Cumulus nimbus. फिर ऐसा है कि मैं एक गंगा जी में क्रॉस करते हुए तो हम देखते हैं डॉल्फिन्स आती हैं. They are mammals, right? ये कौन सी स्पीशीज है? ये प्रजाति कौन सी? What are these species? So, sorry, I do not know this biology or anything. I know all species come from Krishna. There are 8,400,000 species. I don't know the specific name. इतना भी नहीं मालूम. Then 50% of your life. So then, like that, came up 75% of your life is wasted. Then, after saying that 70% of your life is wasted, then those cumulus nimbus father will fade and it started raining, thunderstorm, so heavy rain, and this boat started to rock in the ranges, rocking, and he is very afraid. Boatman, now what is going to happen? Boatman said, "Sir, there is a storm now. This boat is going to overturn now. And it's going to overturn, then we will be in the Ganga. Then how do you go on?" There is a scholar, "Sir, now we have to sing because the boat is going to sink now." "Sing? But I don't know how to sing." And he said, "Okay, you don't know how to sing? Then 100% of your life is wasted." All our acharyas, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they have taught us how to swim in this great, dangerous ocean, which is known as samsara. It's like in the samsara, in any ocean, you may be a very strong swimmer. No matter how strong swimmer you are, you cannot cross that ocean without the help of boat. If some boatman comes, puts you back in the boat, then you will be able to cross. Otherwise, you will drown. But you all fortunate twice, you are in the shelter of great Vaishnava, Sri Prabhupada, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj, and the present staff continue their GKC, and Sri Prabhupada has touched on this point in this purport that actually gradually we will be able to understand the pastimes of Krishna, and the most confidential pastime, one of the most confidential pastimes, which is not even in the that pastime does not take place even in Golok. Our acharyas have said that the childhood pastimes of baby Krishna occur only on this planet in Gokula. They are Gokula Vrindavan and Goloka Vrindavan. In the spiritual world, it is called Goloka Vrindavan, and here it is called Gokula Vrindavan. Gokula Vrindavan, we are able to actually hear about the wonderful pastimes of Krishna, the butter feed is being butchered, and then Yashoda Maya is tied. It's a wonderful pastime which is not even available in Goloka, Vrindavan. And I will conclude shortly just to highlight of that.
Just one more voice please here, which is with the group.
The Damodar pastime. Many lessons to be learned from it. One of the lessons, Yashoda Maya was trying to tie Krishna. No matter how many ropes he used, but again and again, all the ropes in Gokul tied with each other. Still, the was too short. And our acharyas have commented, this short is because there's two things. First, your Bhagavan's Krishna's mercy has to be. Without his mercy, nothing is good. Second, our effort has to be. Both things are necessary. Without our effort, we will not also progress. Without Krishna's mercy, we will also not progress. Krishna has been very kind. So all of you take up this responsibility. You're in very fortunate, very good hands to take you back to Godhead. And lastly, in conclusion of the Tamala pastime, when Nanda Maharaj released, untied the ropes which were binding Krishna to the grinding water Utka, Krishna ran to Nanda Baba. He said, this is my mommy, my mother has insulted me so much. बहुत अपमान किया है मुझे रस्सी से बांधा रखा है मैं सुबह से शाम तक दिवाली का बीता इधर नहीं हूँ From today I am your son. Krishna is saying, from today, Baba, मैं आपका पुत्र हूँ आज से Nanda Baba realized by this statement of Krishna, Mother Yashoda, naturally she is very disturbed because she is giving everything for Krishna. Krishna is her very life. She will do anything and everything for Krishna. She has no other thing except Krishna. So, Nanda Baba is also very intelligent. He doesn't want to see that Yashoda is sister. So he says to baby Krishna, Krishna, I am the king of Gokul Braj and I can punish anyone. So your mother has done insult to you, I will punish. And Krishna is saying, oh, my mother is going to be punished? No. He immediately got down from the lap of Nanda Baba and jumped onto the lap of Yashoda Maya, and Yashoda Maya embraced him with her two hands and kissed him and danced, holding Krishna with her arm. That's the actual pastime. Thank you all boys. Keep on with your efforts.
So we thank Prabhuji for such a wonderful class, and it was such a beautiful presentation of Prabhupada, and Prabhuji also explained so nicely. So what stories he covered? He gave 2 nice examples to explain the purport, that how entire creation comes from Krishna, boatman and scholar story, and Newton's own story, which is so important, all of which we don't know that majority of the big scientists are actually believers in God. Not that all scientists are atheists. Actually, Lord Kelvin, who was a very famous scientist for thermodynamics, he said a very famous statement: if you believe strongly in science, if you are 2 scientists, you will be forced to believe in the existence of God. Such a nice statement. He said, if you are 2 scientists, if you believe in science, you will appreciate God even more. So that is, so it's not that we against science, but through science, you must appreciate God more, Krishna more. And how Krishna has made such beautiful laws, how Krishna is creating everything, how he is maintaining everything. And the books that Prabhuji mentioned, there is a book by Srila Prabhupada, Life Comes From Life. Has anyone of you read that book? Okay. We will provide some copies to you in your ashram groups, and please try to read that book. It's a beautiful book, Life Comes From Life. Conversation between Srila Prabhupada and the great scientist, but we have decided to focus on the Abdul Maharaj. So now, all of you have to go to your classrooms.
Thank you very much for coming here and for the students. Very much, and very important lines, and they are very nicely